everyone. So this is part of the series where I will go through your WA2 Geography WA2 answers with you. Okay, so let's start with part 1, question 1, part A. Okay, so question 1 tells you that they are showing you the trend and percentage change in tourist arrivals, okay, to Sri Lanka from January 2018 to June 2019. Okay, and you're asked to use figure 1 to describe the trend of tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka. Oops, too dark. Okay, and they ask you only from Jan to June 2019. Okay, Jan to June 2019. So basically, for 3 marks, when I describe trend, like what I've always tell you all, you need to start with the general trend. Then you give me the specific, which is you can tell me the highest changes or the lowest change. And the last one, you need to give me the anomaly, which we phrase it as however. Okay, so this is how we get the 3 marks. Now, so I don't understand why some of you until now, after going through so many times, you are still not doing this. Whether we ask you to describe features or distribution, I give you a map, I'll show you where things are located. Remember the last lesson that you were at, where I show you a recorded video before I left for SAAB. Okay, so all these things all goes to more or less these 3 steps. Okay, so please watch out, and because some of you are still not describing general, still not giving me anomaly, and you're doing all kinds of funny things. All right, so let me go through once and for all. Okay, so let me analyze this with you. Let's look at the graph. Okay, so this is the graph. All right, they only asked me to look at Jan to June 2019, so that means the 2018 ones I must ignore. Okay, I must ignore. So in my mind, I need to ignore the 2018 one. I must pretend that it does not exist. Okay, so I don't know why some of you go on to describe the 2018 one. Okay, yeah, so it should look like they only focus on the white bars. Okay, next, now some of you, I see that you try to do reading for every single bar. Save time. Okay, only do the ones that you need to describe. So what's the general trend? Okay, so general trend, let me use green color. General trend from Jan to June 2019, the starting point is here, the ending point is here. So from here to here, what's the trend? Okay, so generally it's quite a huge decrease, right? Because it decreased by more than half. Okay, so as a general trend, generally there is a huge decrease in what's the units given to me? Tourist arrivals. Okay, so there's a huge decrease in tourist arrivals. Okay, from January to Jan to June 2019 by how many people? Some of you today still tell me from this amount to that amount. Okay, so what's the amount here? Is somewhere slightly more than half of 200 and 250,000, so maybe 2300. Okay, we can accept a tolerance, like differ by 10,000, 20,000. I think it's fine. Okay, this one is a bit too dark. Let me just change the color. Okay, and then this one is slightly above 50,000. All right, it's definitely, let me use gray as a working. Okay, so it's definitely, let's say halfway point is somewhere here. Okay, so it's definitely less than half of the half. So the half is about 75,000. Between 50,000 to 100,000, half is about 75,000. Between 50,000 and 75,000, the half is maybe about, let me calculate. 75,000 minus 50,000. Half of this is about 6250. So definitely less than half of it. Okay, so maybe slightly less, maybe 62,000. Okay, or 60,000 is fine. So some of you wrote 60,000. I think some of you calculated based on 60,000. I think it's fine. Okay, so it dropped from 300,000 to 62,000. Okay, so some of you wrote 300 to 6200. Okay, but this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the difference. Okay, so what's the difference between these two? Okay, 168,000. Now some of you put 120, 165, tolerance about a few thousand, I think it's fine. Okay, that's how you forget the units, tourists. Alright, so that would be my 1 mark. Okay, now specifically I can talk about the highest. So if overall is decrease, I can talk about highest decrease or the lowest decrease. Okay, so lowest decrease, it seems, is from okay, so let me use another color. Maybe this time I'll use blue. Lowest decrease seems to be from here to here. Highest decrease seems to be from here to here. Okay, now some of you said the highest decrease is actually from March to May, something like that. Okay, but as you can see, the gradient for the blue is slightly higher, so April to May will be a better choice. Okay, so the May reading is about 40,000. Looks like if I divide this into 5 parts, about 40,000. Okay, I mean, if yours is slightly different, it's fine, don't worry. We know that the graph is not fully accurate because there's no dividing line, so we accept a few differences. Okay, April is about slightly more than 150, definitely not 1/5, so maybe 155. Okay, let me choose a darker color. Alright, so I can talk about the greatest decrease, I can talk about the smallest decrease. Okay, but take note, if you talk about smallest decrease, then you cannot mention these 3 months for anomaly. Okay, so I will use a different color. I will share with you why later. Okay, so let's say if I want to go by this part, smallest decrease. Okay, then let's see what is the numbers. This is about 240,000, I think. Just you can take a ruler and divide into 5 parts to estimate. Okay, then this one is about 1, 2, 3, 4. So starting between 2, 3 and 2, so maybe 2, 2, 3, 5. Okay, now some of you get confused by the number of zeros you need to put. Well, next time use the comma lah. Every 3 digit is a comma, then it will help you. Okay, so I can choose to write about the blue or the red. Okay, so specifically the greatest decrease is from April to May 2019 by, okay, how many is that? I need to calculate. Mr. Low is not a math teacher. 2, 3 minus 40,000. Okay, 105,000 what? Tourist arrivals. Okay, or you can talk about the greatest decrease or the smallest increase. Okay, now some of you, wait, let me just write this out specifically. What am I doing? The smallest decrease is from February to March 2019 by about 5,000 tourist arrivals. Let me double check the math. 20,000 2,400 1, 2, 3 minus this one 235 5,000, correct. Okay, so I can choose to, so this is the green, the general trend. Okay, then this is the blue and this is the red. So I can choose to do either blue or red for the second 1 mark. Okay, now anomaly, which one do you want to talk about? There's a few anomalies to talk about. Okay, so if the anomaly of huge decrease will be increase or stay constant. Okay, now let me, this time maybe I'll choose purple. Now some of you might want to talk about this. So most of you talk about this, the start increase here. Okay, most of you talk about this. Some of you actually want to talk about how it's constant over here, but here's a note for you. If you already talk about the red color parts, let me change this to red. Okay, if you already talk about the red color parts as slight decrease, as part of the specific, then it doesn't fit the anomaly already. Okay, so you have to decide. If you talk about the red color, then you cannot talk about this part already. Okay, because it's already these few months are already mentioned already. Okay, let me just put it to red. Stroke, where's my stroke? Oh, wait ah. Okay, so if you really talk about the red color part in specific, then you can then only talk about it if red part is not used for specific. Okay, so please take note. Okay. Alright, so let me change a different color, easier to see. Okay, now if not, you want to talk about the May to June one, is fine. Okay, so if you use the blue color for anomaly, for specifically, then your anomaly can only talk about this part here. Okay, this slight increase. Okay, some of you want to talk about this, I think it's fine, but today I just focus on this. Okay, so however, so if I use the blue color answer, the however will be like this. However, there is a slight increase in tourist arrivals. Okay, I can just put by how many tourist arrivals? 22,000. 62,000 minus 40,000 is 22,000. 22. Okay, arrivals from May to June 2019. 1 mark. Okay, so this set is one answer, perfect answer. Now, if you don't want to write the blue color one, if you wrote the red color one, okay, sorry, what am I saying? Okay, if you wrote the, okay, now if you do the red color one, you can also do this, okay, but you cannot talk about the purple anomaly, the constant, because the red color part has really been used in the red color words. Okay, so instead of this blue, you can also use another one. Let me use purple for you here. Okay, however, some of you like to talk about constant. However, the tourist arrivals was almost constant between January to March 2019. Okay, now some of you stop here. You need to support with evidence. Now there's two ways you can support. You can talk about the range, or you can talk about the middle. Okay, how they are constant at around where? At about 23,500 tourist arrivals. Okay, why 235,000? Well, this is the middle. This is the middle of the of all these changes, isn't it? Okay, this is the middle of all these changes. If you don't want to talk about around this amount, you can talk about the range. Constant 2019 between the lowest and the highest, between 300,000 to 400,000 tourist arrivals. Okay, so I have two sets of answers for you. The general trend is the same. I can choose to write about this blue answer, okay, or the anomaly. So the anomaly I can choose to talk, if I choose to talk about the greatest decrease here, then my anomaly I can talk about this slight increase. I can talk about this almost constant amount. All right, but if I choose the same general trend, if I choose to talk that the anomaly is this slight decrease, then I cannot use these same years in the purple answer as my anomaly. I have to use the blue color one, so which is why this one only use the blue color one. Okay, so I hope you are better at this, and please don't make the same mistakes anymore.